Okay, part 5 on the Mediterranean race. So, as you may have realized, we're moving geographically. We moved from the east, we moved north, and we started to move west. Now we're moving to the south of Europe, more classical Mediterraneans. So, some of the Arabs I provided were classical Mediterraneans. These are European examples of the classical Mediterranean type, which we usually call Gracile Mediterranean. So, the first example here is a Cretan, who I've included first because he says he's very similar to those Yemeni Arabs metrically. So yeah, he's a Cretan fellow. And then we move on to this chap, who to me is a very good example of the Gracile Mediterranean type. Gracile Mediterranean is a common element in the South Italian population. This chap is from Napoli, from Naples. And then we move on to another good example of the type, maybe a little less typical, but this is a Gracile Med who's a Spaniard, and his father is from Galicia in Spain, which Galicia is quite interesting in terms of population genetics in relation to Spain and Portugal in general. I'll do a video on it at some point. And then we move on to a less typical example of the type. He's described as a more robust med. So this guy is transitional to the Atlanto-Mediterraneans, which I'll show you next. And he's got a large mesocephalic head. So again, he's more typically Atlanto-Mediterranean, but he's included in this section by Kuhn. So he must have some similarity to these Gracile meds metrically. He also mentions that he's a very hairy fellow. He's from Portugal, from Beira Alta.